Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Here we are, Sunday, November the 19th. Unbelievable that we're just a few days out from Thanksgiving here in the US. Well, you may be wondering, I have a plate of delightful looking chocolate goodies here. And last Thursday I went to a meeting of the garden club that I belong to through our newcomers group, and we had an afternoon of gift making, handmade gifts, and this is one of the ones that we did. And we've got blobs of chocolate, and then we've got all sorts of lovely things sprinkled on top, things like pumpkin seeds and almonds and chopped apricots and dried cranberries, and I think I got a couple that I sprinkled some sea salt on. So that was all fun until I came home, and I kept looking at them and I was thinking, you know, they would make a really nice gift for someone. Obviously living local, I wouldn't want to have to post them, or it might make a lovely table, what you might call it, a table treat for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. So to carry on like the handmade, homemade theme, I thought that today I might make a pretty box or something to put them in, and so that was my starting point. Now if you can see me out there, maybe you would go ahead and just put let me know in the live chat on that right hand side of the screen. I'd certainly love to know that you're out there. And as always with my Sunday lives, I start from scratch. So I have an idea, as you can see, and then we're going to pursue it together to try and create a pretty display or box to go on the table with these. I can't remember what they were called, some fancy French name, but either way they're absolutely delicious. So let's go ahead and make a start. Now I shared this paper with you the other day. This is the Shining Brightly paper. I made this card during our Sunday live, if you remember, using the paper, and I've still got quite a bit left. So I'm going to be using that, and I think like for Christmas it's such a lovely rich combination, and you can see that it has both the blue and the gold as well as vanilla and gold, and I'm going to use some more of the vanilla and gold for this one. And my first thought is always to put vanilla and navy together. It's a favourite combination of mine, and it was a very favourite combination of my dear mama. And so I then thought, well, I know I did something with Night of Navy or Navy Blue not so long ago. So I thought, well, a nice Christmassy colour that would go with gold and with, oh, hello Hilda. Hey, how good to see you again. I hope you're doing well. So I have chosen to do shaded spruce. I think it makes a lovely Christmas, but I think you could always work it for Thanksgiving if you wanted to do that. So those are my colour choices. Now, I did have a little play around earlier to see how many would make a nice amount to put as a table gift or a little hostess gift. And I decided that 6, because, you know, I'd like 6. So I kind of pulled them all, sort of got 6 together like this. And I'm trying not to handle them too much because I don't want to get chocolate on my fingers and then get it on my work. So I kind of thought, well, I could lay them in the something sort of just like this. So I measured them up like that, and I had I was seeing 4 inches, and then I thought, well, maybe 2 or maybe 2.5 inches wide. So that's what I'm going to go with to put them together. And as I always do when I start doing boxes and things, so I need my bottom part here, and I'm going to do, what did I say, 4 inches, and I think the widest one was like 2.5. So maybe, and what's this, is a smaller one, so that's about 2. So if I made it about 3 inches wide, that ought to cover it. And then I need to have some sides like that. So this is how I always sort of start to design a box. And I thought that maybe 1.5 inches. So these are going to be 1.5 inch panels or sides. So if I total this, I've got 3 plus 2 times 1.5, so that gives me 6 inches wide. And then I've got 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3, plus 4, which is 7. So I'm going to have a piece of cardstock that is 7 by 6. So let's get the old trimmer out and start. Oh, excuse me. I had some peanuts just now, and I think I've got a bit of peanut stuck in my throat. So let's go 6 here. And this is going to be by 7. Now, if I was making a lot of these, I would probably try to make a half a sheet of cardstock work. I think that's what I would do, but hey, we're going to go with what we've got. And I need 1.5 inches high. So I need to get my scoring tool out, the cutting tool out the way, and bring in my score. And I'm just going to put 1.5 inch score round all 4 sides. So nothing particularly fancy. And just hopefully that will give us a good start point. So there, I'll just move this out the way. So there's my basic bit, like that. Right, so if I cut up my pieces here, and then I'm just going to put a notch in here. So I'm just cutting off like a sort of a triangle-y bit, if you see. And that means when I go to put my box together, I don't have a lot of bulk going into the corners. So it's just, you don't have to do it, it's just I find it gives you a better finish. Okay, so now before I stick my box together, I want to add some nice decorative paper. Let's get rid of those bits. And so I've got 2 panels here that should be 4 by 1.5. So if I want to cut some decorative paper, so I've got 4 by 1.5, and I need 2 of those. And then this one is 3 by 1.5, 3 by 1.5, and I've got 2 of those. Now if I want to have a little margin so some of my green shows, I need to do 2 at 3 and 3/4. I'm going to give myself an 1/8 inch margin times 1 1/4, and then I want 2 at 2 3/4 times 1 1/4, and that should give me my my 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to start by cutting 1 1/4. So I'm going to take a 1 1/4 strip. I think I'll need 2 strips, won't I? Because I'm not going to get four pieces out of 1 strip. So let's go, what did I say, 1 1/4. Oops. Right. So pop that to one side, and I said I needed 3 3/4. I need 2 at 3 3/4. 2, 3 3/4. There we go. And then I need 2 at 2 3/4. So 2 3/4. Oh, have I got 2 3/4 there? Oh, look at that. It's about 1/2 inch too short. Good job I cut an extra strip. So I need 2 3/4. All right. Now let's see what we can do with that. Okay. So and this paper doesn't have a direction, so I don't have to worry about, oh, I've cut that one too short. Ooh, okay. I think I must have cut that at 1 3/4. So 2 3/4. There we go. Right, so I'm going to use some liquid adhesive, but you could always use whatever adhesive works for you. So I'm just going to lay down with a little margin. Okay. Oh, looks like my adhesive is running a bit low. Didn't think to get a fresh one out. Right, let's see if I've got a fresh one in handy. Well, let's pop that one to see if that will work. I think I've got enough to go on with. I might have to make a mad dash to the other drawer to get some more adhesive. But hopefully that will. See, I think there's enough for the time being. Right. Right. Now, the next thing I thought is, because I'm going to be putting some chocolate in here, that maybe it's a good idea to line it with something not that sort of any, if you like, oil that's in the chocolate. So I'm going to cut a piece that's I'm going to do 3 7/8, because then it'll be just fit inside the box without wrinkling up, by 2 7/8. And I thought that vellum might be a good idea to use. So if I go 2 7/8, by 3 7/8, I'm just going to take the merest little, tiniest little bit off of that. It's just a tiny, I mean, literally, let me show you how too wide it was. Can you see that? It was just literally a hair. And let's see what we've got now. That's better, much better. All right, I think, let's see, what can I use? What would be a good idea to put that in with? Tape would show, liquid would show, but not, well, I'm going to go for the liquid because it's going to have something in it, and nobody's going to look at it when it's empty, are they? Well, I wouldn't. There's no more chocolate in it, I wouldn't be interested. So I'm really going to smoosh that around, make sure that it, I'll probably regret that later. Right. Right, so let's get some double-sided tape, and I'm going to put the tape here and another piece here, because it's going to have a bit of weight in it, so I think we just need to make sure that it's nice and secure. All right, so are you ready for Thanksgiving, Hilda? I have to say, before we moved to the States 22 years ago, it wasn't a holiday that we recognised in excuse me, in the UK, but after all these years, it's something that we've kind of absorbed into our year. And we used to love it when my husband worked and he would get Thanksgiving Day as well as the following day, Black Friday. They used to close for those 2 days. And we used to enjoy having those 2 days off. But he's retired now, so practically every day is a day off. All right. So let's get these tabs ooh, it's just started to rain. I mean, we could desperately do with the rain still here in Texas. We had a very dry summer. In fact, I think they said it was one of the driest summers since records began, or the second or third. I can't remember. But it's been a very dry summer. And at the beginning of October, we had new lawn laid, and we've had to keep watering it every day to keep it alive. So a little bit of extra rain from the sky, it will be gratefully received. Okay, right, so there I've got my box, and I had a thought beforehand when I was thinking about using this vellum, that I wondered if to decorate my box I could use doilies. So I've got the delightful doilies, and I've used these before on a couple of lives, and I thought that maybe these would look really nice if I perhaps folded them in half like that and used them over the sides as well. I thought maybe that they would look quite pretty. Don't know what everybody thinks, but let's try and find the halfway here, Cindy. So, there we go. No, there must be a matching. There we go. I knew there was a matching one because I found it the other side. Maybe doing that. So, what do you think? I think I need some glue dots. Excuse me a minute, I can't find my glue dots here, so we'll just go and get some. There we go. Right. So, if we put some glue dots here. Now, if you don't have any handmade chocolates, you could always do a similar thing and use, some Hersheys Kisses or some nuggets, or I don't know, all those Lindor chocolates, or maybe some Ferrero Rocher. Mind you, that would be a lot of Ferrero Rocher, wouldn't it, in a box this size? I guess it just depends how much you love your guests. Right, and I think what I might do is the same the other side. So I'm putting my glue dots around like the solid part here. Oh, hi Jan. That's good to see you. So, I don't know if you were in at the beginning, but I was explaining that I went to a meeting the other day of my garden group, and we were making handmade gifts for Christmas, and I thought it would be great to have a handmade box to put them in. So that could always, actually, I have just had a thought. I'm not going to make a box. I think I'm going to make a basket, because I don't know as I've made a basket before. So we'll see how that works out. So, having made that momentous decision, hi Myrtle. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I don't know as we've met before, Myrtle. Maybe you'd let me know where you're joining us from today. Right. Alrighty. So there is my box. And, oh, Pennsylvania. Oh, I have friends, very dear friends, that live in York, Pennsylvania. And we have been up many times to visit them, and they've always taken us to see lots of different sites, particularly like horizontal historical sites. I don't know about, I'm not horizontal, I'm more like hysterical here. Oh, I think, have I got 6 in there? I think I got 6. I got room for some more. I got there, I could put 7. That's my number. Okay. And yeah, and Jan's from Michigan. York is about 1.5 hours from you. Oh, right. So York is literally sort of, it's not too far over the border from Maryland. And so when we hit Maryland, we know we don't have too far to go before we get to our friend's house. Now, I could put a lid on, as I said, but I'm going to make a basket, so I might have to take those chocolates out again in a moment, so I wonder how many bigs I need this to be. I'm going to do it this way. So I'm thinking I need, so how big is that? So that is 7 inches. I think I'm going to, let's cut a piece of card that's 10 inches and we'll play with it from there. Now I'm thinking, will an inch be too wide? Let's have a look at what an inch would be like. Oh, I think an inch would be nice. So to keep up with my decoration, I'm going to make this 3/4 of an inch wide, because then 3/4 of an inch would give me 1/4 of an inch border. Okay. Now, is my adhesive gonna last, or is it gonna peter out on me? I think I might just be able to squeeze just a little bit more out of it. Yes, Myrtle, it is gorgeous. Did you see the card I made with it a couple of weeks ago? Literally just pulled all the gold together. And I might have another card, if I can put my hand on it in a sec, to show you how that blue works. Let's see if I've got the blue one handy. Here it is. Look, so this is a card that I did for my luxury card, Christmas card stamp camp a couple of weeks ago, and you can see I've used this beautiful paper here, the blue version, and then it kind of opens up like this, and then that little bow just makes a little catch like that. Yeah, I love the navy as well, but I've nearly used up all the navy and I've got the vanilla left, so I just wanted to make sure that I didn't get left with a whole host of it while once Christmas is behind us. But I could always use it for another project, non-Christmas, I guess. Right. So maybe I could do like this. Do you think that's a big enough handle? Yeah, it is. Blue is. I mean, navy with vanilla was my mum's favourite colour combination. If ever she needed to go and, you know, she needed to buy a dress or something, you could bet your bottom dollar it would come back blue, and then she'd accessorize with cream, as she called it. Yeah, that was her favorite combination. I was thinking about trying to do something with these corner pieces to see if they're, I'm not sure that handle looks good. Thanks Myrtle, thanks Jan. Right, I'm not gonna do anything fussy with those. Okay, so what I am going to do though is I'm going to use some of this tape, because you just know that when it's on the table, someone is going to pick it up by the handle and you don't want it to fall apart. Now I'm just going to measure up 1.5 inches. So I need the other piece to be about here, so that I can stick it on. And I'm going to be ultra generous, because as I say, I really don't. I have to say, Jan, that blue is probably one of my favourite colours as well. I just think that it is probably it's probably one of the most amenable neutrals, because I don't wear black, so I always go for navy if there's a need for black, but it goes with pinks and yellows, and if you get the right shade of green, it goes with green as well, and it goes beautifully with like taupe colours. So yeah, it is. I love navy. Okay, so I've given this a bit of a run over with my bone folder to just soften the fibres and give it a bit of a curl like that. And I'm trying to resist the temptation of taking my chocolate out. Do you know, it smells so good, that chocolate. When I bought it home, I popped it all in the fridge, and I think my husband went in the fridge for some reason, and after dinner he said to me, shall we have those chocolates that you made today? for dessert, and, and I said, no, I've got an idea to do with them, to make with them, so do something with them on Sunday. So no, you can't eat them just yet. So I expect he'll be after me to eat them today. He'll start saying they'll go off. You know, okay, I'm making you want chocolate. Yeah. Well, I'm not aware of any sort of traditions with chocolate at Thanksgiving. You know, for Christmas, yes. I remember when we were kids, we used to have like chocolate coins on the Christmas tree, or little chocolate snowmen, or Santa Clauses, or something like that. Okay, so how are we doing so far? Is that going to hold? Oh, I think it will. I think it will. Do you think that would look good on somebody on the table as a little table gift for Thanksgiving or Christmas? You always like chocolate. Right, so this is a new stamp set that it will not be available until the new year. But I was able to get hold of one earlier, and last week, and it says, "Hope your day is sweet." I think that's a fantastic little greeting to put on my little box as a greeting here. So I've got a block, and I've got some vanilla cardstock here, and I've also got some shaded spruce ink. Thank you, Myrtle. Thank you. I really appreciate you joining with us today and for sharing your comment. So, okay, I think I've got a good. So I'm gonna. And I really appreciate you all joining in a conversation. It makes it really pleasurable. Ah, you're curious to see the stamp set. Yes. So it's called Ice Cream Swirl, and you can build up your ice cream, and there's like a cherry on the top, and there's like donut. I think that's a donut, and strawberries and sprinkles. And it comes with a coordinating die set, and maybe we'll just get to the other side of Christmas, and we'll maybe do something with that. So that's a nice one to look forward to. And another one is this new punch that we have. Now I don't want my label because it's going to be a bit on the big side. So I'm going to cut this up like that. I'm going to slide that along, and I'm going to pop this piece back in. I don't know if you're familiar with this technique where you can make your punch do more than one thing. So I'm just going to slide that back in and line up the edges. Yes, you could use Wink of Stella on those swirls. You certainly could. And I've got some gold here. Gold foil. I've gone all out on the gold. So we can, that's a bit big, isn't it? Let's do the same technique. So, I slide this piece of card in because then it helps guide the it's easier to guide this piece of cardstock in, and then I just whip it out before I squeeze the punch. And I've managed to move it. Oh, yes, an eraser. Yeah, you could do that. We could do that. There we go. Let's see if I've got, oh, I don't have an eraser, but I have got the putty end of my Take Your Pick tool here. I'm going to go for that. Neat idea, Jan. Thank you for it. This is fiddly. There we go. It's a little bit. I want to go in a bit further. If you weren't all watching, this would go right first time. You know that, don't you? It's a touch of the old Murphy's there that's preventing it working. So that's better. Yes, that's more delicate. And I'm just hoping that my adhesive will just hang out for a few more minutes. Okay, so the side bits line up, and then you've got the little border top and bottom. I've got some nice embellishments. So I've got some big golden blobs or some little delicate ones here. So what do you think? Big gold blobs or delicate little ones? What should I use? I was just gonna, and then I've got some of this lovely red spotted ribbon, and I'm gonna make a bow just to finish everything off. There. Maybe I ought to try and twizzle that around so that there's, because it's single-sided ribbon. Maybe that's the way to do it. Okay. So this is called Real Red and Gold, and it's kind of got woven on the back, and that would make a nice pattern as well, to use it that way, or the polka dot side on there. I like that ribbon. All right, you cannot do bows. Oh, and delicate. Yeah, well, did you see what I did, Myrtle? I use the rabbit ear technique. So I just bring up a loop. Oh dear, exaggerated. So I bring up a loop and then another loop like that. And I always leave it on the bolt so I can cut it off. And then I cross over my two loops and then push one of them through the crossover bit and then pull. And by doing it that way, I find that all the loops are at the top and the tails are at the bottom. If I try and do it this way, where, like, you know, we were taught to do our shoelaces, I can never get my I can never get it even. Well, to prove me wrong, that's done that there, but I've got the wrong side there. So anyway, that's how I do it, and I do have videos on how I tie bows. I've got video on like single bows and video on double bows and faux knots and all sorts of all sorts of things. Okay. So my friend Ellie always talks about an odd number of things on, so we've put an odd, oh, that's how you do yours as well. Yeah, try it, Myrtle. Go on my YouTube channel and just put in, I think I called it my series Mastering Ribbon, and it was the first one I did. Yeah, check them out. And I think if we're going to put them, if you're going to put this on the table, like to one to the side, you could have that little thing showing like that, couldn't you? Yes. And then people can see that it's a special gift from you, beautifully handmade. Or if you made it like as a hostess gift, then again you could use it as, you could say again, hope your day is special. Oh, look at that, that little devil is twisted back again. Oh ha ha, okie doke. Well, it's not going to get the better of me, ladies, this piece of ribbon. After all, it is a ribbon. So if we put this down like here, and to stop that actually twisting itself back, I'm going to put another glue dot to just hold it down like that. Okay, you miss Ellie? Yes, I had a long chat with her by Skype, not Skype, FaceTime, a few weeks ago. I mean, she's doing well. She's very busy with her business, and so I'm sure she'll be back one day. Right, so I think I'm done. I think I hope you agree that makes a really cute little table treat or little hostess gift, or maybe a co-worker gift if you do co-worker gifts. I'm my own co-worker, so maybe I'll give it to myself. All right. Well, I do hope you have enjoyed working through this little project today on how to make some really pretty handmade packaging for a handmade gift. And as I say, if you're not into doing the chocolates, maybe a little packet, a cello bag with some popcorn in there, maybe some cookies. If you do cookies, you could do some cookies. But I think either way, it makes a great little gift. Well, you're very welcome, Myrtle and Jan. If you have enjoyed, give me a thumbs up if you haven't already. If you don't subscribe to my channel, maybe you'll go ahead and do that, and then you can join me for my future lives, as well as be able to see all my other videos, and there's over 400 on my channel. Well, I'm going to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving over the next few days, and I will look forward to seeing you again next Sunday at the same time. Thank you, Jan. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.